No, no, no.
Good evening and welcome to Country Nights in the City, live from the Moonshine Cafe. I'm Dave Wood, your host for the evening, and my special guest tonight is the wonderful and amazing Elyse Saunders.
Hey, Dave.
Great to
Hey,
have you
everybody
here.
tuning in.
Thank you all for tuning in. A great night ahead of conversation and music. It's going to be wonderful. Let me also introduce, so I'm Dave, and we've got two Daves on stage, Dave Bailey and Dave McDougall.
Woohoo.
All right, so we're Dave cubed tonight. More than squared, we are cubed. And of course, you don't have an audience here to laugh at jokes or to boo, so, but keep the comments coming, folks, as you're watching the show on YouTube. We really appreciate you tuning in. It's going to be a great night. Elyse, let's start with 2020. Obviously a tough year for the music business and for everybody, but throughout all that, you were able to get some great success going with a couple of great songs called Free and Wind Down.
Yeah, 2020 has been interesting for us all. I don't think any of us could have expected it, and I've never experienced anything like this before. So how do you prepare for that? Who knows?
Yeah.
You just have to go day by day. But it's been interesting. I had a lot of things lined up, and I thought my year was going to go totally different.
Right.
But it's gone into a new direction, which has been great in many other ways.
Yeah, you kind of roll with the punches as you did. I know one thing you did very, very well was get good at social media. You ramped your game up.
Yeah, I only could do the sitting around watching Netflix and having some drinks and eating bad food for so long. Yeah, I was pretty devastated when this whole thing happened. I was actually supposed to go to BC the night of when
Right.
basically Justin Trudeau made the announcement, everything shut down.
Wow.
So that was in the works. And then when I heard that, I was like, this is totally out of my control, which is hard for me. I've had to learn during this process to let go of control and just work day by day, which has been really interesting, with the social media front of things.
Yeah.
I've just been really trying to find ways to connect with my audience in ways that are different. Usually that's through the shows, but I've been doing, I did a whole YouTube episode surrounding Free.
Yep.
All these episodes on YouTube if you want to check them out. And I talked about a whole bunch of different topics that were really personal to me.
Mhm.
And I think right now people are really looking for those online connections, and it's more important than ever to release music for people. And
Yeah.
I think that's what people are gravitating to, is messages and songs that are helping them through these times.
Totally, and you've done that with a lot of your songs, including Me Too and Rise, which we're going to hear on this show. We've also got an unreleased song from you. You performed it on a live stream once, but other than that, nobody's heard it. And there's a cover on the way, too, from Elyse. I always like to include a cover on the shows for everybody, so I'm looking forward to hearing that cover as well. I know what it is, but I'm going to keep my lips sealed. Sometimes I don't know what it is, but in this case I do. We got a lot to talk about and get into, but let's get to one of the main reasons we're here, which is music from you, Elyse, for everybody watching and for myself. What are you going to start us off with tonight?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you so much to John, Carlos, and you, Dave, for hosting us here. It means a lot. I've really been missing this kind of a platform, so I'm glad that we're able to give everybody a live show in this way. So, we're going to start off with Rise, and you and I were discussing about my set list and the order of things, and I had said to you I really wanted to shape this set as my journey to Free. So I've released a couple albums before, but I would say that these songs that we're going to talk about and sing today are the songs that kind of led me to my current place in music. So
Right.
Rise is one that's very, and it's an empowerment anthem that was created for a real person, and that was Jessica Phoenix, our equestrian Olympian.
Right.
And she has an incredible backstory. If you've never heard of it, make sure you check out the Jessica Phoenix story to find out more. But she's just an incredible person and has overcome so much. And we were inspired to write this song about her, which is, it's done all kinds of things, and I love that about music, is it can connect with different genres. And DJ Danny D from Toronto Z1035 actually did a remix of it. So my first time having a remix on a song, which
Pretty cool.
was interesting. And people were like, "Are you an EDM artist?" I'm like, "No, I'm actually a country artist. You have to listen to the original and then the remix." So the remix went top 20 on the pop radio stations, which is crazy. So Rise has definitely been a big influence on where my sound has been going. And you can hear that in my current, one of my current singles, Free, which kind of brings those elements of the dance world into country music. So
Right on.
so we're gonna share Rise, which is one that I released in, I guess it was 2000 and I feel like it was 2017, which is crazy to think, because
Hard to believe.
it's like, it feels like it was just yesterday. So this is Rise.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're told you can't do it, too far you can't reach it. Fight for your change, show what you're made of. Dreams have no price, they never come cheap. Only you can chase yours. You've got to believe. Deep down inside, you know you got this. You're ready to shine. It's your moment to light up the world with that fire in your eyes, like a powerful phoenix. It's your time to rise. Sometimes you get set back, sometimes you get rattled. Dust off your old hat and get back in the saddle. Tough times made you strong. Look at all you've done. You've waited so long. It's finally come. Deep down inside, you know you got this. You're ready to shine. It's your moment to light up the world with that fire in your eyes, like a powerful phoenix. It's your time to rise. Don't be afraid, make some mistakes, grab on till you fade and dare to be great. Deep down inside, you know you got this. You're ready to shine. It's your moment to light up the world with that fire in your eyes, like a powerful phoenix. Deep down inside, you know you got this. You're ready to shine. It's your moment to light up the world with that fire in your eyes, like a powerful phoenix. It's your time to rise. It's your time to rise. Ooh.
Elyse Saunders sounding great on Rise. Amazing performance. We're here at the Moonshine Cafe in Oakville. Country Nights in the City. I'm Dave Woods, and there's a PayPal link you'll see right there on the screen. Feel free to give what you can. It'll help support live music. The money is going directly to Elyse Saunders and the Moonshine Cafe, supporting live music in these difficult times. And we're kind of trying to come up with unique ways of doing this with shows at the Moonshine Cafe and, of course, regular live streams we do on Facebook. So we do appreciate you tuning in. We're bringing the country music community together tonight. Elyse, it's so amazing. You've got songs like Rise and a song like Me Too, which is coming up in a moment. And as you mentioned, this is your journey. When you look back, say 10 years or when you first started out, what were you hoping for 10 years at that point? What were you envisioning for your career?
Well, I started out, I guess, just always doing it at home. It was just a natural part of me. I've always been a creative person and just
Right.
love all arts. And I met my first mentor, Cyril Rawson, from my hometown of Peterborough. And he kind of took me under his wing. He's a songwriter first and foremost, but also got into production. And I learned a lot in the studio about how to be able to sing conversationally and really take a lyric and make it come alive in different ways. So that's where it started. And I didn't have family members that were a part of the business. I didn't really have anybody a part of the business. So when I started, I had no idea what to expect.
Right.
And I didn't even really know how or that you could actually have a career in this. So when I started, my expectations were that I hope that I can take it as far as I can. I've always looked up to big artists like Garth Brooks and Shania Twain and their entertainment style. And I always wanted to be an international artist, and I still want to be. And I hope that my music can reach as many people as possible, and it's doing that online, which is amazing. But at some point in the future, we have to do an international tour. So, starting out, I had no idea how hard this would be and how much of a business it is. So when I started out, I thought, oh, well, I'm just going to get into it and do the art side of things. But the way it is now, you have to be a business person too. It's like 90% of it.
Right. That is a big thing to learn, and it takes a while to learn all those lessons about how to handle that side of it.
Yeah, it's two different brains that you have to switch on, the creative brain and then the business brain. But I've learned to have a passion for the business side.
Nice.
And this year especially is when you can bring out all of those different things that I've learned over the years, and to be able to bring it online and keep myself active with everybody and figuring out new marketing ways and how to share my story and connect with people. So it's been interesting and fun.
I'll bet. And it's got to be great when you hear from fans and listeners about a song of yours that means something special to them. Obviously, Rise and Me Too, but even Free. I mean, any song can have a purpose in their life. What is that like to hear that kind of feedback?
I feel like it's not a surprise, but it's a surprise always just to hear their story and how they connect to it.
Right.
And it's always usually in ways that I wouldn't expect, or it's people that I wouldn't expect that maybe their story connects to it. So it's always super touching, and as a singer and a songwriter, it's important to me that I create songs that are fun and that people can forget about their problems in the moment, but also songs that can empower them or can bring a voice to somebody that maybe can't share their voice. So that's always incredible, and it makes it hit home. Like it gives you perspective of what you're actually doing and that the people that it's touching.
Let's turn to a very serious song of yours. First of all, thanks everybody for tuning in. We are here with Elyse Saunders. I'm Dave Woods, broadcasting live from the Moonshine Cafe. We are so lucky to do this, and we thank John and Carlos for all their work with the studio and the camera work and everything in the sound. I mean, they're doing a fabulous job. But Elyse, we're heading up to the song Me Too, and this was an important song in your career. You did a video for it as well. Before you perform the song, just tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so Me Too was written on one of my Nashville trips. As Canadians, you'll see a bunch of us in Nashville all the time, just because it's such a hub for country music, and just be able to make connections and hang out with people and just have friendships. And that's the best, is when you can have a writing session where you feel comfortable and you're like friends sharing stories. Right. So Me Too, we weren't expecting to write it that day, but it was when everything was happening with the headlines and all the stuff was coming out. And I had all these different ideas. I was like, I want to write this, I want to write this. And I was with K.R. Hedden and Joe Hash, and it was my first time writing with K.R., and I've known Joe Hash for many years, and we've written a bunch of times. And just organically in conversation, we were saying about all this crazy stuff coming out and our own stories and how we were connecting to what was going on. And we're like, you know what? Why don't we write this song? So we wanted to write it in a way that would connect with everybody, because I think it's relatable to men, women, children, youth, everybody from different backgrounds, no matter what race, no matter what you come from. So this is a story that gives those people a voice.
Amazing. Elyse Saunders, everybody.
Me Too. Have you ever had a story you couldn't tell? Sorry. Have you ever had a story you couldn't tell? You're fighting, going through a silent hell. How do you explain something you can't explain yourself? Have you ever wanted to change your name? Rewind, undo, erase the shame. Have you ever wondered why you gotta be the one to take the blame? Me too. I walked a couple miles in no shoes. Soul's getting on low, but here's the truth, it ain't just you. Ooh, me too. Somebody crossed the line, went way too far. Cut deep and left a scar right on your heart. You can't wait when you're too afraid to lose. Me too. Bet you didn't know that you can make the rules. You don't have to be polite, just let things slide. Not this time, not this time. A dress is just a dress and no means no. There's right things to say and things you don't. Enough is enough. Don't you think we should stand up? We should stand up. Me too. I've walked a couple miles in no shoes. Soul's getting on low, but here's the truth, it ain't just you. Ooh, me too. Somebody crossed the line way too far. Cut deep and left a scar right on your heart. You can't wait when you're too afraid to lose. Me too. I walked a couple miles in those shoes. Soul's getting on low, but here's the truth, it ain't just you. No, it ain't just you. Me too. Somebody crossed the line, went way too far. Cut deep and left a scar right on your heart. You can't wait when you're too afraid to lose. Me too. Have you ever had a story you couldn't tell? Me too.
Wow. Powerful. So well sung, so well written, and you delivered it with so much conviction, too.
Thank you.
Yeah. You sound as good as the record.
Oh, thanks.
It sounds great in here. I'm sure it sounds great for everybody at home watching. We're bringing you some great live music tonight from the Moonshine Cafe in Oakville. I'm your host, Dave Woods. This is Country Nights in the City. Now, I understand there's some good news on the way in the form of an album from you. The album is called Free, but it's not for free.
Yeah.
There'll be a price to it, but it's called Free, of course, after the song. Tell us where that stands. It might come out this summer if all goes well.
Yeah, as long as there's no weird COVID stuff that will restrict it for whatever reasons why
Right.
it doesn't make sense. It's going to be dropped in June, so we're really excited about that. Fortunately, we were able to finish the recordings this July in BC, and there's a few songs from Paul Chateau on there, and Dan Swinimer, which you heard him produce Free, and there's also a song produced by Sean Moore on there too, so it's a well-rounded album, and I like that it's showing these different parts of me, and Free is just really about celebrating life and to really just own who I am and my sound. And I feel like I'm just at a place where I've really found my voice as a songwriter and as a singer. So that's what Free is all about, the album. And it's funded by Factor as well as Creative BC. So thank you. It wouldn't be possible without them because music is expensive. So
Yes.
it's exciting that we're here. And yeah, they're a big reason why I'm able to be here with my music.
What an exciting place to get to when you found your voice, as you said. Now this is more Elyse than ever. And it takes a while to get to that point, and you're there, which is great. When you go into the studio, is there anything you do, Elyse, to get the best out of you in a song? Your producer's a big part of that, I know.
Oh, yes.
Each producer. But tell us a bit about going into the studio with one of the songs and how you go about creating the song vocally.
Well, for me, I work with Tamara Beatty, who has done a lot of work on The
Yes.
Voice, and she's on a ton of other singing shows. And we really take the vocal of the song when it's just in its early stages of just a work tape, and we'll really work on the vocal just to get all of the parts strengthened, and then she might pick out some things where she's like, you could do this to really bring out this part and your voice shines here. And so we'll do that for a few months, at least a few months. Free, it took, I think, a year before we got to the point where it was ready.
Wow.
And it wasn't purposely, but it worked out for the better because we got a way stronger vocal. And then when I go into the studio, for me, it's just, I just get into the zone. In the studio, I've been in the studio environment for many years, so it feels like home for me, and I just love it, and being able to create magic through the performance. So yeah, the producer's a big part because they will pick out things that maybe I'm not hearing, but I bring out the emotional pieces of each lyric.
Right, and you do that so well. And we're going to hear a song tonight from the album that I mentioned earlier that not a lot of people have heard, so can't wait to get to that. Let's talk a little more about your influences. Take us back to when you were getting into music as a young girl, even before you started music. Who was inspiring you to want to do all this?
Yeah, I've always looked up to a few people. So I would say, yeah, Shania Twain, Garth Brooks were my two favorites for entertainers, and I just love how down to earth they are as people. And then also Dolly Parton, just such a sweetheart and just so real. And I think she treats everybody with kindness and such a powerful songwriter. And Johnny Cash, I just love his rebellious side and how he's not afraid to share. He was never afraid to share songs that had messages that were important at that time. And Martina McBride, always wanted
She's
to.
wonderful. Yeah,
she's somebody I was like, I need to reach that pinnacle of vocal. So I'm still working towards that. But Martina McBride is a major vocalist inspiration for me. And then Leanne Rimes, I grew up listening to her when she released her first album when she was 13.
That's right.
So I could relate to that as a kid growing up.
Yeah, that first song, Blue, when she was like 13 or 14. Incredible. Yeah, Shania Twain is a great role model as well, a great Canadian artist.
Oh, yeah.
And a legend. Let's turn to the song Feel You Leaving, which we're going to get to in just a moment. You're going to perform, you and the two Daves on stage. These are the Daves we know, all of us. So this was sort of the beginning of the new sound for you, Elyse, and this one came out in 2019. Great song, great video. Tell us a bit about this the song.
Yeah, so this one started in a dream for me, which happens rarely, and sometimes I'll wake up and I forget it, but this was one of those days where I woke up singing it. So
Wow.
I was like, I need to record this in my phone before I get too sleepy and go back to sleep, because I've done that before and I've lost the song completely and I've kicked myself later for that. So this was a song that started that way, and it was the big oh, and then the lines about letting the waves crash over you and letting go of the memories. And then I had this one kind of tucked away, and I thought I was kind of nervous to bring it out because of where it came from, this dream. And I went into a session with Doug Folkens and Sean Moore, and we were playing around with different ideas, and I had said, well, what about this one? And it was almost perfect because Doug Folkens had this title, Feel You Leaving, in a couple of lines, and we're like, you know what? These are the two worlds that need to come together. So, so yeah, it's pretty crazy how it came together.
That's so cool. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate you being here. Hope you're enjoying a great night of music. Many more songs to come. I just want to remind you there's a PayPal link on the screen. If you can donate a couple of bucks, $5, $10, whatever you can, it'll help out live music. It'll go towards Elyse, and the Moonshine Cafe as well. And so please help us out if you can. And thanks for tuning in. It's Country Nights in the City. I'm Dave Woods. Let's get to that song now. We're going to talk about the making of some of these videos you've done after the song. But let's hear Feel You Leaving.
Yeah, and this one, there is a video for it, so you guys can check that one out online as well. I gotta stand up for this one. I don't need to see your taillights, honey, to know that you're making tracks. You've been dropping all your one-word answers, and every time you text me back, I'm walking this beach where we rode on days innocent. I can feel it, can't believe it. Looks like you've turned into a ghost, but don't worry about it. This is me letting you go. Oh, let these waves crash on me. Oh, wash away our memories. I can feel you leaving. 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 Do you really think you let me down easy? It's more complicated than that. You're either in or you're out now, honey. It's too late, no going back. I can feel it, can't believe it. Looks like you turned into a ghost, but don't worry about it. This is me letting you go. Oh, let these waves crash on me. Oh, wash away our memories. I can feel you leaving. 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 Oh, I can feel you leaving. Oh, I can feel you leaving. I can feel it, can't believe it. Looks like you've turned into a ghost, but don't worry about it. This is me letting you go. Oh, let these waves crash on me. Oh, wash away all memories. Yeah, I can feel you leaving. Whoa, I can feel you leaving. Whoa, I can feel you leaving.
Wow, those vocals, man.
I had to stand up. I'm like, my vocals will be crushed if I stay sitting.
You crushed that song. Those vocals and the whoa-whoas. I'm not doing them justice. I'm just stating them right there. But
Thank you.
the way you sing them are amazing.
Thank you.
That is powerful. What a great vocalist. We're going to get into the songwriting side of what you do, Elyse, in detail a bit later on. Again, it's Country Nights in the City, folks. I'm Dave Woods. We're live at the Moonshine Cafe. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got more songs to come to, including a cover and a never released song before that's going to be on the album. Only a few people have heard it, so stay tuned for that. Shooting videos. You've gotten good at this. Do you feel comfortable doing them? Do you look forward to shooting videos?
Yeah, videos are fun. I've always said if I wasn't in music, because I love the arts, I probably would get into acting or getting into actually producing videos myself, because I love the camera work and the editing and the visual eye for all those things. So I've been working with Roadhouse Productions on all of my current videos.
They're amazing.
They're amazing. Awesome guys, just so positive to work with and just such a talent. And AJ and I, we will sit together before we do a video and just really nail out all of the details and what visions I'm seeing, and we're a great team, and we've come out with these videos that now Free is up for another award, and it won Video of the Year with Mississauga Music Awards.
Amazing.
So no idea, had no idea this was going to happen, but it's been really neat to see the kind of response the video is getting.
And in Wind Down, the video that's out now, you're doing some acting in that at the beginning.
Yeah, so I was like, I was saying to AJ, I was like, I want to bring a little bit of, like a cinematic thing to it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna think of some lines and do this acting. And the male part in the video is a model and friend. And we had to act like we were in love, that we've been in this relationship for a long time. And so it was a lot of fun because acting was kind of new for him, and it was fun just to build this thing on screen.
That is so cool. I would like to see you in more films or more longer piece acting. Would you like to do something like that?
Oh, yeah. If anybody out there has a show,
You got a script?
you can just send it my way. I would love to get into more of that stuff.
I think that would be so cool. Tell us about filming Free.
Yeah, so Free happened during our pandemic, and we had all these plans to do the video. And when it first happened, I had released Free out in June, and I was saying to my team, I don't know if I should release music this year. I'm scared because who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
And we had said, you know what, music, no matter what, it's always important. So we're going to release anyways. And then I had said I so badly wanted to create this video for Free. So we came out with the lyric video. I took my phone and recorded myself singing, and Travis Nesbitt and I worked together to get all these pieces to create this really fun lyric video. And then in July, things opened back up, and I'm like, AJ, let's make this video happen. So our storyline changed slightly, and I was like, you know what, let's just go have fun, and we'll go to a cottage, and then one of my guitar players, we're gonna use his field, and we're just gonna make it about having fun, because that's what Free is. It's just being free to be in the moment and have fun. And I think people were really, really wanting that, just because of our times being cooped up inside for a few months before that.
It's a great video. If you haven't watched it, folks, check out Free and check out all of Elyse Saunders' music videos at her YouTube. They can subscribe, of course.
Yes, I'd love that.
And stay on top of that. And you can subscribe to the Moonshine Cafe YouTube channel as well for anything they've got upcoming or down the road this year. Cover songs, you got one coming up. Talk to me about some of your favorite covers. I remember when we did live shows here at the Moonshine with audiences, and you did something really clever I hadn't seen anyone do with your covers. Instead of doing one for 4 minutes, you did 3 cover songs, a little bit of each of them. So you got 3 songs in one.
Yeah.
I thought that was really clever.
Yeah, well, that was something we were working out, because we had this showcase that we were doing in February, and we were talking about how we wanted to do that, because we only had, I think it was a 15 or 20 minute time slot. And I was like, I want to show something unique, because it was talent buyers out in the audience. And I was like, I got to show them that we can do covers and make them our own and create a party for people.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. So we wanted to bring that to your show too. And because that's where I've really learned how to become an entertainer, just by playing at these bars and country clubs where there's 500 university college kids, and everybody's out there for a good time. And it's if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose that audience quick, because they're there to have a good time. So I've really honed my skills as an entertainer by doing that. And by doing that, I've really been able to make these covers my own and just have so much fun with them, and to hear them sing along with me, it's just so much fun.
That is so great. I've been at a lot of those shows, and you do such a great job. Did it take you a while to become comfortable as an entertainer, not just a singer, but keeping the crowd interested?
Yeah, it did. I was naturally a shy kid growing up, and I think there's a lot of singers that say the same thing. We're creative people, so we're kind of introverted in our own way, but at the same time, I was this little entertainer at heart, and I would put on all these concerts and choreograph shows at home, and so it took me time, to be comfortable in my own skin, just to own it and go up on stage and create the show for people. So, but now I would say this is the top of what I love to do, and it's been really hard for me not doing that as much during this phase, just because I love entertaining.
Yeah,
and
it's like a second home.
It
Maybe
is.
your first home.
It's another version of my home, is being on stage for sure.
That's awesome. Let's hear this cover song you're going to do. I can't wait.
Yeah, okay, we're going to do it for you guys, but I want to say, first off, thank you so much, again, to everybody tuning in, and to anybody that's donated to our virtual tip jar. It means a lot to both John from Moonshine Cafe and myself. It's helping to support live music during these strange times. So thank you very much. And we're going to do a John Denver tune.
Love it.
This one is Country Road. So you guys have to sing along. Even though we can't see you, we can feel you. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old here, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's daughter, stranger to the water. Dark and dusty, painted across the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear a voice in the morning, how she calls me. The radio reminds me of home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, take it away, Dave. So here comes the sing-along part. Normally we have a live audience and we'll be singing along together, but you guys at home can sing along. And like I said, we can't see you, but we can definitely feel you. So it goes like this. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, everybody now. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads.
Another amazing performance from my guest, Elyse Saunders. I'm sure a lot of you were singing along at home. Who can't sing along to John Denver and Country Roads?
Yeah, exactly.
It is such a great tune. Thanks everybody for tuning in to Country Nights in the City. I'm Dave Woods, and we are broadcasting live from the legendary Moonshine Cafe in Oakville. Glad to have you tuned in. And Elyse has a few more songs for us. We're talking about her journey from the beginning to the song Free and to present day 2021. And we'll get into what you want in 2021 as far as music goes and aspirations. Got an unreleased song coming up in just a moment. That'll be part of the album Free. Let's get into songwriting, Elyse. You mentioned Cyril Rawson was an early mentor as a songwriter. What was it like your first ventures in songwriting when you look back?
My first ventures, so when I first got into it, it started as a diary for me as an emo teenager. And it was just my way to put my feelings down on paper. And I grew up watching my mom write songs in the kitchen. And I always thought that's such a cool way to be able to express what you're going through in lyrics. And then it was, once I started working with Cyril and I did the whole album and I had released this package that was a great resume, although it was all these strong songs written by amazing people. It wasn't songs written from me.
Right.
So that was when my venture as a professional songwriter started. And for me, my biggest way of learning was just by co-writing with people that I looked up to. So
Right.
as I say, write up is always the way to learn. And I think as songwriters, we're always learning and we're always growing. And so it's taken those few years of writing with people and hearing what their style is and how they do things. And then it just really clicking. This is what I like to say as a writer. And this is how I say things conversationally and as an artist. And I think that's what makes the songs authentic.
Conversational is a great way of putting it, because a lot of times when people think about writing songs, especially if they're new at it, they don't, especially when they're new, they don't think of conversational. But tell us a bit more about that angle or that approach to songwriting.
Yeah, I think especially in country music, the best songs are the ones that are conversational. That feels like you're having a conversation with the artist through these pictures they're painting and the emotions that they're emoting. And yeah, it'll be oftentimes that I will hear somebody say something very conversational, like that's a great title. I'm going to write that down. Keep that for another time, or just it could be my own story or a friend's story that I'm inspired by, and just the conversations that they're having with me.
Do you remember the first song you wrote where you said, yes, I'm onto something, or this seems like better than what I've done, and I feel like I know what I'm doing now?
Yeah, it's funny that you said that, because I was just thinking that when you first were talking about songwriting. I was trying to think when that pivotal point was.
Right.
And I think I would say my album I'm On My Way was when I was starting to come into my own, but I would say after that, when I spent a couple more years developing, I would say that's when I've really just honed in. I was like, I know my sound, I know who I am, and I think a big part of that was just growing up too, and becoming the person I am, and life experiences. I think that's where it became a pivotal point for me.
What advice have you been given, not just on songwriting, but just a music career in general over the years that has stuck with you and that has been effective and worked for you?
I would say you have to love what you do and love the journey, because there's a lot of ups and downs, and to treat it like a business. You have to be your own entrepreneur and try to make your own craft the best it can be, because that's when it's going to actually go somewhere. And then also just have thick skin, because it's not an easy career. There's I could share a million stories of times where I felt like crying, and it's not an easy career, but you grow from it. I think it makes people, I mean, for myself, it's made me more of a well-rounded person, and it forces you to go inside and learn so much more about yourself. So to be okay with taking criticism or having this thick skin, but to also be vulnerable is important.
Wow, it's such a balance, vulnerable and thick skin, right?
It's
tough.
strange. It's I feel like a crazy person sometimes when I say that, because you are flipping from it too. So
it's quite something. But again, we framing all that with congratulations on 2020 for you and the year it's been with Wind Down and Free. And I see you on social media with all your accomplishments and the videos you're doing, the music videos and the other videos that are entertaining us. You've done a wonderful job, and you've really reached a new level in your career in 2020, which is continuing in this year.
Yeah, and that's what has been the biggest surprise for me, because like I said earlier, is I had all this stuff lined up, and I thought, my 2020 was going to be completely different, and I was so devastated and so sad when it took a turn, because I thought, well, everything I've been working towards and everything that I had lined up is just gone, and it's like, what do I do as an artist now? Is my career over?
Right.
But then it's just, I think out of everybody, I think the arts and artists are some of the most adaptive people. Our industry has changed so many times over the years, and I think that's where I just was like, I'm just going to take the bull by the horns and make the most of whatever I can. And it with this whole free song, it was like it came at the perfect time, because I was going to release it a few months earlier, and then we released it during the pandemic, and all this stuff has come out of it. So these things sometimes work out for the better.
A great year, great music. We've got a great song coming up from you right now. I want to also, again, mention we got Dave and Dave here. Dave Bailey, Dave McDougall.
D-Mac in the back.
D-Mac in the back.
That's
and
my
D
nickname
Bale never fails.
Yeah.
We made that one up on the spot.
You could tell. Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell. Yes, thank you. I'm glad we don't have an audience. I might have got booed on that one. All right, but Dave set me straight. Thank you. 3 Daves in the house tonight, and Elyse making us all look good. All right, let's turn to this song that a lot of people have not heard yet, but it's going to be on the album Free, and tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so this one I wrote with my friend TJ Simpson, and it was last winter, and I was just in the mood to do something summery and fun, and we came up with this idea, which actually it came with the melody and the chorus idea, the hook first, but we didn't have the title yet. So, and usually I always have the title before I write a song, but we didn't. So we kind of started writing the song, then we got to the bottom of the chorus. We're like, what is this title? And then we came out with Sunshine State of Mind. And the cool thing about this song is, as much as it paints all these summery pictures with a loved one, it also is explaining how no matter where we are, you could be in the worst climate or the worst situation, as long as you're with the right person or you're surrounded by the right people, you're going to be happy. And it's about having the sunshine state of mind, or a positive mind.
Love it. Can't wait to hear it.
So this one, I'm not going to say when, but we're hoping to release this one soon. And I'm super excited about it. Yeah, I shouldn't say too much more, but it's coming out soon.
Stay tuned.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Golden beach town skylines hazy. No doors on my black tea, baby. Broke my shades, but I can't see no problems. It's just me and you and the sunset falling. Lost with you in paradise. Suntan bus from on ice. We can waste the day for the hell of it. We can chase the song, get a little bit wavy. Like the salt in my hair, crazy like we just don't care. 'Cause you and me never wanna leave this sunshine, sunshine state of mind. Oh, the sunshine state of mind. Sun burns out, turns into moonlight. It's too hot for these sheets tonight. Close our eyes, but we'll be dreaming about that blue sky, cloud nine kind of feeling. Lost with you in paradise, little suntan bus sipping rum on ice. We can waste the day for the hell of it. We can chase the sun, get a little bit wavy. Like the salt in my hair, crazy like we just don't care. 'Cause you and me never wanna leave this sunshine, sunshine state of mind. Sunshine state of mind. Don't matter where we are, it's a way of life. But then you're by my side. Lost with you in paradise, little suntan bus sipping rum on ice. waste days for the hell of it. We can chase the sun, get a little bit wavy, like the salt in my hair. Crazy like we just don't care. 'Cause you and me never wanna leave this sunshine, sunshine state of mind. Oh, sunshine state of mind. Come on and get a little bit, and get a little bit. The sunshine state of mind.
All right, a sunshine state of mind, a great song we need these days. We want to feel good, we need to feel good, and a great way is having great friends around us.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think during these times too, I mean, I have to remind myself of this all the time, but just to try to keep that positive mindset. It's really easy to be caught up in all the stuff going on right now, and there's a lot. But to surround yourself with the right people, and we can support each other, and that will keep us up and upbeat.
100%. And even though maybe we can't physically surround each other or be close, we can do that, online and phone calls, texts, all that stuff. Obviously, staying in touch with each other, checking in on all our friends, as they say, checking on your strong friends too.
Yep, exactly.
You never know who's hurting.
You
right?
never know, what people are going through.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important. The line that's a lot of people say is to treat everybody with kindness, because we don't know what that person is going through, even though they might have a hard exterior.
Yeah, very true. We've got a couple of great songs coming up from you, big songs from 2020 from Elyse. What is it like when you see the streams rack up and you reach these crazy big numbers on Spotify and Apple Music?
It's pretty exciting, just because that's what I've been striving for online for a long time, and just to know that this stuff is resonating with people, that's what I think as a songwriter I can only hope for. So it's exciting, and sometimes it's like myself and I think others, like we hit these benchmarks or we hit these goals, and it's like, all right, now what's the next goal? But I think it's important to appreciate the goal that you have hit, and to have that perspective of where you've come from and how hard you've worked to get there.
I like that. That's such a great point, because you're right. We're always striving, whatever stage of life or place in life we are. And as artists, you're always on to the next accomplishment. But to take the time to say, yes, I did this, I accomplished this, and really feel proud of yourself.
Yeah,
Take
to
it in.
celebrate those moments is important.
That is so cool. Have you had a chance, and I'm sure you have over the years at least, to meet some of your musical heroes in person? And can you talk about one or two of them and meeting them, and just what that felt like and what you were able to say to them?
Yeah, I would say one of them is Shania Twain. She's still on my list. Haven't met her yet. I saw her from afar at the CCMAs, and she wasn't far, and I was like, Shania Twain.
It's Elyse, Shania.
Yeah. But I would say Lisa Brokop was somebody early on in my career that I got to collaborate with on my first album. She did a bunch of the harmonies, and it was just really cool and special to have her as a part of it, and in the Nashville scene when I was brand new to it all, and just to see this pro come in and how she did things in the studio, and just to have these really cool conversations with her as a Canadian, and she's opened a lot of doors for Canadian country artists too. So she's somebody that I thought was really cool to get to work with her.
She's great. I remember she had a bunch of songs on the radio. Obviously, one of them was called "Give Me a Ring Sometime," which was kind of play on "Give Me a Call" and "Give Me a Ring." And, but she had so many great songs. A great Canadian, now living in Nashville, and wonderful. Yeah. Let's talk about the next song, actually, "Wind Down," which was your second release in 2020. And we got to see a romantic side, a sultry side. Tell us about the writing behind the song, because it's a cool title. Where did it start with the title?
It did, and happy Wind Down Wednesday.
Exactly.
Anybody at home with a glass of wine? I was saying earlier, I made a little post. I was like, make sure you get your pajamas on, get comfy, get some wine. Yeah, it's the best way to enjoy. And then have some live music too.
I don't know where our wine is.
I know.
I'll wave my hand somewhere, and
and then poof, there'll be a wine that shows up. But yeah, this is one that started with a title. My friend and songwriter Daryl Scott actually mentioned this one. There was a group of songwriters that we had went to Nashville, and it's great to go as a group and friends, because you can then go to these networking events and mix and mingle and have fun, and then you guys can write with each other, and then you can go off and write with other people. It's a lot of fun. So we were just talking about whatever, and he mentioned this title, Wind Down. I was like, save that one for me. We are writing that one. And the cool thing is, I just find with songs is I'll have certain songs that I'm like, I know I need to write this song, and I'll keep certain ones tucked away for different times. And I just know usually when I go into a session, it's like there's a song that's poking out that day, and it's like, this is the song you need to write today with this person. And we had hung out with Joey Green, from he was on The Voice the night before, and we were all hanging out, and we had said, Joey, we need to write. So that Sunday, after a night of partying, we all got together early in the morning, and we gave him this title of Wind Down. And I had heard some of the music parts in my head before we went into it, and he started playing, and I was like, that's exactly what I've been hearing. So I knew in that moment, this is the song we're supposed to write today. And Wind Down, I just love how it's a play on words, where you're winding down with a glass of wine. So, and
it's great, so clever.
Yeah, and I think when we wrote it, we obviously had no idea there'd be a pandemic happening, and releasing it during this time, I think the message is maybe more important than ever, and that's just to honor those moments with your loved one, because there's a lot of distractions and negativity and whatever else going on, and just to sometimes shut off and spend that time with them is important.
Yeah, it's a great message and a great song, and I can't wait to hear it. Elyse Saunders and Dave.
And make sure you check out the music video for this one. Oh, by the way, it goes out to radio really soon, Monday.
Monday, right on.
Yeah, Monday. It's
All
coming out
right.
to radio.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Baby, I know you had plans for us, but tonight we don't need all the rush. We could just stay here with the lights down. We've been working way too hard, spending too much time apart. Just need you close to me right now. Let's ride down Kisses California red right off my lips. Take some time, somehow. Run your fingertips down to my hips, 'cause I don't wanna paint this town right now. Baby, I just wanna wind down. We could pour a glass of Cabernet like the one we had on our first date when we shut down the bar. And I gave you my heart. This way we make all the rules, no one sees us act like fools, getting punch drunk with this stuff till we can't get enough. And right down, this is California red right off my lips. Take some time, some help. Run your fingertips down to my hips, 'cause I don't wanna paint this town right now. Baby, I just wanna wind down. Like this wine, we get better with time. Baby, like this wine, we get better with time. Let's wind down. Kisses California red right off my lips. Take some time, some help. Run your fingertips down to my hips, 'cause I don't wanna paint this town right now. No, I don't wanna paint this town right now. Baby, I just wanna wind down.
Elyse Saunders and Wind Down. Her current single, it goes to radio this Monday. Amazing. That is
Thank you.
That is so close. That I know that is exciting when you're about to send a song to radio.
Yes, and it's crazy just be back at radio. I had released some singles from my very first album, which as a first-time release, it got some actually really good response. And then I haven't released since because I always have said if I'm going to release to radio again, I got to make sure I go in with some ammo. So I think this year, having just everything that's going on is the perfect time. So from going from free to radio, though, to Wind Down, there's very different from each other, and
Right.
definitely a different speed and pace. So it'll be interesting, and it'll give me a really good idea on, I guess, the sound that's really resonating with people the most.
Well, you've got the momentum going. Everybody knows Elyse Saunders. And if you're watching, you know her, obviously. Tell your friends about her. Is there a way to, with radio, can people tweet at their favorite station, email them? What's the best way to kind of help radio play it?
Social media is the best
Yeah.
way. So if you can reach out directly to their Twitter accounts or Facebook or Instagram, the more they see you guys requesting it and the more interest you have in it, it gives them more confidence to get behind an indie artist. And just this year, seeing the incredible support from you guys has been amazing. And it's what's really given me purpose during this year. So any support you guys have during the next phase too is much appreciated.
You've got some amazing fans. They're loyal and dedicated, and they love what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate them very much, you guys. And thanks again to anybody out there that has donated to our virtual tip
Yes.
jar. It means a lot to me as an artist and John here at Moonshine Cafe during these crazy times with live music. So thank you.
Yep, we've got a link right on the screen. It's the virtual tip jar, PayPal link, and that money goes to Elyse and the Moonshine Cafe to support live music during these very tough times. Man, we've gone on such a journey tonight.
We
You've
have.
taken us on it from Rise. You had a lot of songs before that, but Rise to Sunshine State of Mind, and we're about to get to Free, the song. What do you want for 2021? A lot of challenges ahead musically, but leaving aside live performances, you've mastered and you've crushed social media. So there's ways to get music out there. What do you want to see happen with your music this year?
Yeah, I hope that it just continues to make a difference and connect to people and just to continue to grow and to just reach more and more people as much as possible. I would love to be able to do more shows, but it's great, Dave, that you're giving us opportunities to be able to do stuff like this because I'd be very sad if I couldn't. I just, these things are what give me a boost and it brings me back to reality of what's actually real and why I do music. So. So yeah, I just hope that it continues to grow and that it just keeps doing amazing things and breaking different ceilings that I can't even expect sometimes.
Amazing. Have you ever pitched a song? Have you ever written, kind of getting back to the songwriting for just a moment, have you ever written a song specifically to pitch to another artist?
I have with other co-writers who have said that they're wanting to write stuff in their catalog that they want to pitch to specific artists. So I've done that a couple of times, and I'm actually wanting to get more into that. And there are some times when I write a song and we'll come out with it where I'm like, I love this song, but I can tell it's not my song.
Right.
So I do have some songs in my bank that I definitely will pitch at some point.
Excellent. And is there anybody on your radar musically? I ask this on the live streams that I do Thursdays at 9 on my Facebook Live. Artists you can recommend to us. We might know them, but you're just giving an extra recommendation, or maybe somebody we haven't heard of.
Yeah, there's a ton we know, Dave, because there's
Yes.
there's an
So many.
incredible amount of talent here in Canada. It's unbelievable. And so I don't like to choose at all because I think everybody's so talented. But somebody I've been watching for a long time and I'm really impressed with what she's doing right now for so many reasons is Sasha. And then also my friend Manny Blue, he's another Canadian, but he's making waves in Nashville.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many. I'm like, I don't want to pick favorites, but yeah, there's a ton of talent in Canada, and we should be so proud.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys should check them all out.
Canadian country music is rocking these days. You know, it's on fire. It's doing great. And there, as you said, there's so many great artists. Yeah, I find that a really tough question if somebody asks me, because I want to list 20 25
I could
people
go on and
at
on,
least.
yeah.
Check out our Spotify playlist. That's where you'll find a lot of them, right? But there are so much great talent, including yourself, Elyse, and the song Free, which kicked off 2020 for you in a big way. People were really getting to know you through this song. And it is such a fun, upbeat song. And it's kind of about remembering we were wild and free.
Yeah, and for me, the song was inspired by a lot of my youth growing up in Peterborough and that phase of life where it felt like there was no responsibilities. And those
Yeah.
moments of feeling free of responsibilities are pretty fleeting, but
Right.
it's a really great feeling because that's, I think, what's sometimes our happiest moments. And I think it's important, no matter where we're at in life, that we still create those moments and
Yeah.
schedule in that time to be like that. So yeah, that's where it's inspired from. And I think, yeah, that we've all been there. And I think that's where it's resonated, is that, and during these times, we want to be free and to be able to go back to normal life. But I think if we work together, we'll get there. So we just have to keep supporting each other.
Absolutely. And the name of the album is the title track, Free, which we're about to hear. Coming out in June, if all goes well, it's ready. Just a matter of if the timing seems right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the date locked in with Factor. So,
Okay.
and yeah, as long as it makes sense marketing wise, all those things that go along with releasing music, then it'll be at the end of June. So I'm super excited. And yeah, today was our journey to the album of Free.
Yes.
So we're, what better way than to end it with Free?
Perfect way to end it, with kind of a new beginning. But the song is free, and we can't wait to hear it, Elyse.
Yes, we'll play for you now. Make sure you check out the performance online. The song was produced by the amazing Dan Sonemer, and
Yes.
he knocked it out of the park. And there's so many incredible musicians on there. So this is Free.
Too young to go to a bar, but old enough for sneaking out under the stars. Salt in the air, tequila sunrise, lost in the moment, living on best life. Barefoot, glow sticks, 4th of July, skinny dipping in a full moonshine. Shining, can't stop, won't stop. We were so restless. Looking back now, might have even been reckless. We were young and wild and free, careless like an ocean breeze. No responsibilities. Take me back to wild and free. We were young and wild and free, careless like an ocean breeze. No responsibilities. Take me back to wild and free. Stereo love and sunshine ray bedding, copper tone tan light, 6-string jamming. Autumn air, hot sunset, mind stand moments you'll never forget. Yeah, you'll never forget. We were young and wild and free, careless like an ocean breeze. No responsibilities. Take me back to wild and free. We were young and wild and free, careless like an ocean breeze. No responsibilities. Take me back to wild and free. Time passes by, keep the high alive, keep the high alive. We were young and wild and free, careless like an ocean breeze. No responsibilities. Take me back to wild and free. We were young and wild and free, careless like an ocean breeze. Nothing responsibilities. Just young and wild and free. Free, young, wild and free.
Elyse Saunders with Free, the big song. Man, such a big milestone for you in 2020. Thanks so much for sharing that song.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to.
It is my pleasure. And we've known each other quite a while. You were a guest on my podcast 10 or 11 years ago for the first time.
Yeah, I've come a long way. I remember doing that podcast with you and just being so nervous because I was just, becoming this entertainer on stage, but it was scary for me to do an interview back then, which is crazy to think.
And here you are. Your journey continues. The album is coming out in June. Keep our fingers crossed. It's ready to go. And Sunshine State of Mind, Wind Down, Free will be on there. And any hints on the other tracks?
Yeah, we have 3 more, but I won't say what they are, but we have 3 others.
Okay, 3 other songs, so this is going to be awesome. Wind Down goes to radio this Monday. So, of course, follow Elyse on social media, share the song, and contact your local country station and say you want to hear it. I want to give a big thanks again, I know as you do, Elyse, to John and Carlos here at the Moonshine Cafe. The legendary Moonshine Cafe in Oakville, home of so many great live shows, and they've innovated and turned this into a studio, and this is incredible, the shows that they've done so far. And we're just so excited to be here. It's always a great time seeing them and being in these hallowed halls, you could call it. There's kind of a magic in this place.
There is a magic. It's almost like the Canadian bluebird.
Yes, the bluebird of the north, indeed. They've heard that many times, as have I. Thank you all for tuning in. We couldn't do the show without you watching and your support. Thank you so much if you're watching live, and of course, if you're catching the replay, we love you just as much.
That's great.
Just
Thank
love
you
this.
for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in and being here. There's a virtual tip jar. All the tips will go to Elyse and the Moonshine Cafe, if you can. Again, thank you, Elyse, so much. Dave and Dave, thank you for being here as well. And Elyse, I wish you all the best in 2021 with your music and everything else.
Thanks again, Dave. You rock. Thank you for your support to the Canadian country music scene. And thank you once again to Moonshine Cafe. You guys rock as well. Let's keep live music alive.
Absolutely. I'm Dave Woods. This has been Country Nights in the City, live from the Moonshine Cafe. See you later.
Thanks, everybody.